Weekend.
Good evening, Mabugila Makaya, and welcome to Sistas Weekend. This is your girl, Lady Anna Masago, and Jingen Joyalong Anghambi Getwa in studio. I'm joined by my gorgeous, lovely sisters. Hello, gorgeous.
Hello.
Lejwang today, Sheva.
Hello, Ribantle.
Today we're taking on that power. Thing today on that boss lady.
Yes, baby.
Yeah.
You are.
What else are the family? What's the power today in studio? What's that? Ne?
I am Queen Lerato.
Guys, I don't even think I need to introduce the topic because already the had own feeling and I hate a suit to a red. So the red shoe. Once a woman up a suit a red, you must know what they mean business. So today's topic on his phone, yeah, Carlos. But anyway, guys, let's introduce our guests. How are you, darling?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. Like, I can only pressure El Rato on my right. Like,
understand.
Yeah, no, she set the tone for this.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me, ladies. It really feels good,
Thank you
to
so
be
much.
here.
Thank you.
I mean, your red suit does actually set the tone. And I think the red and the black pants were more
They are communicating.
But yeah, thank you so much for having me, ladies, and the invite. And I think it's really just a privilege to be here to talk about, upeni, and I'm sure there's a lot of pennies out there.
Yes.
That are experiencing, who Penny is, and I think, look, I mean, in introducing myself, Upeni is a mom of two beautiful kids. I've got a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old. And I've been married for the last 16 years.
Oh, wow.
And I do have a full-time job in the corporate environment, in the financial sector. I'm also building a dream of a talk show, which I run. I run my own talk show as well.
So when are your fellow colleague, Moses?
No, Mara, it's not the same. I can't be
It's like being a driver. You know, it's like being a driver. When you are just sitting there at the bench. It's like a president, you know.
That's exactly the position I'm in. But I mean, it's so great. So I do run my own talk show. It's called Hot Seat with Penzola. I'm starting. I mean, for me, this is an inspiration, right? And I'm also running a videography and photography business.
Wow.
Yeah, look, I also do boxing. I go to gym.
As in this.
No, there are box again. No,
Oscar, it's anything.
But I mean, in a nutshell, though, I think I am defining my journey. I do what I want to do. I always have a tagline that says you can have it all, and indeed you can have it all, but it's not as easy as we portray it. So when I do a lot of keynote speaking as well. So when I speak, people think, oh my gosh, you're a superwoman. I'm not. I'm really not a superwoman. I think that in the different roles that I play within society, I deal with what's urgent on that day, right? And for the longest time, I've always felt that, I want to be a better mother than I am. I'm not present enough because I am quite in a senior leadership role in the corporate space, and you can imagine there's quite a few traveling, and half the time I'm not there for the kids. And sometimes I forget that they've got a cake sale on Friday, and then the day before, one of them says, but mommy, what about the cupcakes? And I have to either rush to the shop or order on the app. So it is exhausting and it is draining. You really have to have a lot of, in psychology they speak around intrinsic motivation, which is something that comes within. I think you've got to be very clear and intentional around the things that you need to do. Because these are all things that I've put on my table. I want to be married. I am happily married. I love the marriage life. And you know, I'm in love with my husband like I met him yesterday, but I actually met this guy 21 years ago, and then we got married 16 years ago. So, and he is a present father, so that support structure also plays a critical role. I can only imagine if you are a single mom and you are a corporate environment, you know, in the corporate, you run businesses, it can be quite tough. But I think it's around building the right support structure. So in terms of the kids, the husband plays, you know, the same type of role. And also just the dynamics in the household, right? So there's this notion that as a woman, you are responsible for cooking, you're responsible for all of that stuff. And do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, guys, where's the rules there, right? So, and I think the marriage that you are in, it needs to plug in terms of what you're good at. So I'm really not great at cooking, but I do because it does feel like it's my function.
And you need to balance these things.
Yeah.
You know, the way you perform at work, 100%.
Yeah,
you must be a wife, 100%. You must play with these kids, 100%. And you must be with him, 100%.
So after uvuke ekuseni 5:30 waprepare labantwana, okay, uyawahambisa esikolweni, and then you do your corporate stuff, and it's very demanding, and some meetings are up until late, and then kuba isapha, and then man fika empedeni ki
Another supper.
yeah, so man
Yes, and you have to be born 100%.
and awufuna uba inandosi yabo.
Yes.
Ufuna
You want to be blessed?
yabo na ufuna ukuthi yabo
Usukumisa umzimba.
Exactly, because sex is a beautiful thing.
It is.
Especially between somebody, you know, people that are married, or even people, someone you love.
Yes.
Imnandi. So when we were present, I was
but
has results.
like you need to balance izinto zonke ubuye emsebenzini ukhathele udala ukhuluma ubathethise emsebenzini ubalance izinto but leyo kukhathala naleyo ukuthi mina ngikudla ukudla
And then that ungakhohlwa phela bathi ni 30,000 words thina.
Yeah.
So yazi.
don't remind me of the last week show.
I want to do that.
Traumatized me.
Ngifuna ukuthi sithathe i-ad break ukuthi besibuya si-dive singene kuye nje. Mabukele emakhaya. We've already set the mood, so do not go anywhere. We'll be back in a short while. Sisters,
Weekend.
sisters,
Weekend.
welcome back, Babukele Makaya. Njengemjwayelo again, yazibonela in studio, guys. We always bring you the hottest topics, and in the we're not interviewing somebody or the desires.
Yazin,
from introduction, nje yazin, wayethatha straight.
Zakana, one time.
I loved that. Kebonakala ukuthi we are working with a fellow colleague, you know.
Yes.
Penny, thank you so much, you know, once again for just, you know, that powerful introduction. And I feel good you've already covered a lot of things that I wanted to speak about. I was introduced to Penny by a fellow friend of sister of mine that I met, you know, while doing Lomsebenzi Wethu. So I was like, okay, I need a person who's in corporate, who's, you know, also how do you balance corporate and, you know, motherhood and being a wife? Like, no, I've got a perfect person for you,
Yes.
you know, because I can't make
she's
it.
perfect.
And then, you know what, I'm gonna bring this woman. So many phone already. Angazi beyokhuluma nomntwana emotweni. Okay, ngapha. No. The meeting no. I think I'm tired. I'm thinking to myself, ukhuluma nomntwana ngapha ukhuluma nemeeting ngapha I'm thinking
already senjika lento zomkhulisa
I just laughed at her.
Yes,
Ngavele kahle because mina bengiphuma salon and I'm thinking
And I must say I was not impressed by you laughing. I was absolutely not impressed because I just fetched my daughter from school. Ubhizi udlala ngefoni yami ufuna angazi ufunani, and then ngapha somebody at work yangifonela. We need you. We've got a couple of
on the other phone.
Yes, because ngithi kunemsebenzi ne
Private is.
Yeah. So when umfonele kule private ngapha ngithola
There's something serious.
Yeah, kunenkinga kunama options. So the buck stops with you. Can you decide which option we go with? But I think
so. She was talking to two people at the same
yes,
time.
and I think
Yes.
and the unathene ufuna ungitshela ukuthi ufuna ukudla ini for lunch nani. And I think the other thing that contributes to this whole thing as well is working from home. Whilst it's been a great sort of experience and advantage, it also is a disadvantage because the fact that I'm home, my kids think I'm home.
You are available.
So when I'm in the office, they know I'm not here. So when I'm home, they think, they can just walk in the room and say, I'm hungry.
Yes.
Or can I have some popcorn, whatever.
God.
And I was saying to my husband the other day, perhaps I should go back to the office because my presence makes them think I'm here. And if I say to them, keep quiet, I'm in a meeting. My daughter said to me the other day, but every time I speak to you, ignore me, right? So guys, it's really not that easy. It's very tough. And I must tell you, I actually started anxiety pills about 3 months ago, right?
Seriously.
And it's an anxiety that exists within my life because there's so many parts and so many expectations from everybody around me. And you get to a point where you're not coping with the stuff that needs to be done because and especially our generation, I think we have to work extra hard to provide our kids with the lives that we didn't have. But so we've got to be present as executives, right? So and I must say, and I'm going to put it out there, as a black female, it's even worse, right? Because the other day I was on a call with colleagues and I said, guys, I'm going to need to transfer the meeting to my phone because I need to go pick up my kids. And one of the guys on the call kind of made a comment, right? And in my head, I'm thinking, but you have a wife that picks up your kids. So you actually can sit on the scope for this long, right? So and I think those dynamics and the fact that when you have a family in the corporate environment, you're still regarded as not committed and therefore have to work extra hard. So guys, it is real. It is not as easy as we make it. We are where we are. I am where I am, and as far as I am, I'm really proud of what I've achieved in the corporate environment. And the ability to go on holiday with my kids, the ability to expose them to the extramurals that they're doing. But it is also taxing. So as one of the ways that we cope, and not everybody can afford this, but I mean, my husband and I go on holiday, just the two of us, and
it's very important.
School fees,
Only you
and
him.
that 10 days just looking at each other, it is revival.
It is.
Because nalumpeto musha esiguo.
Understand? Not just umpeto musha. Esingawundluli.
No king. There's no disturbance. It's like, Mama, yo, something.
So that break, it revives the relationship. And then in December we go on holiday with the kids, which is more functional holiday for me because it's more around the kids. So and I'm going back to the anxiety piece where I had to sit down with myself and acknowledge that I need the help.
Oh yeah.
Right? And I acknowledge, and I said to my husband, I know you're here, I know you're present, you're 100%. But the things I want to do, I still want to do. And I consulted a doctor and I explained to her what I was going through. And then we agreed. It is taboo for someone to admit that, yes,
I need help.
I need help. And the type of person that I am, it took a lot, but I did. And I'm popping my pills. It's
and
my
I want to
job.
interject there when I'm Penny, because I'm very good with reading people's characters. Like when I met Ulerato the first time, I think it was like I would say, Ulerato, won't meet her for the first time, you're thinking, do not come near me. Type of a thing.
She's
giving near fun and nobody in the voice. You guys have got something similar about you guys. But when you sit down with Ulerato and I'm oh my goodness, there is a girl inside. So I'm picking up the same thing with you as you're talking with it. Because I think maybe it's because of corporate. You had to learn this assertive, you know what, I'm not. You understand what I mean?
You don't play with me.
Am I correct to pick you up like that?
You are absolutely spot on.
You've learned that thing, you would see. I need to be.
You build a wall, and you affirm. You are able to have a transparent conversation to say, look, you're not as great as you think you are. You're not performing. And it's simple as that. And you manage that performance.
To a man sometimes.
And then, a man that sometimes is even older than you because there's generational gaps within that environment. But you've got to be bold enough and be authentic and to ensure that you do your job at the end of the day, right? But I get home and my kids jump on me and I'm like, and they're like, can we have ice cream? And I know it's not a day for ice cream, but I'm like, whatever. Just have it. Just have it.
Yes.
So you are spot on.
Because that's what I picked up with both of you. I'm like, they've got that strong character to say, like, you know what, if I was a man having to approach Ulerato, I'm going to have to...
this thing like this weakness of being strong.
Correct.
Yeah, wow. I've never looked at it that
Absolutely.
way.
Yeah, one of the weakness of being strong. Uba broken, about that anxiety part.
Mm.
Uba broken part, depression part, stress.
Because you can't ask for
This
help.
one's too strong.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think you know what. Let's buy and singing because
Yeah,
I really
I
want
also want to add on that.
add
Yes, absolutely.
Babukile Makhaya, you know what? This topic as in English, as in using, but do not go anywhere. We'll be back in a short while. Sisters,
We can.
sisters,
We can.
welcome back, Babukile Makhaya. You're still tuned into Sisters Weekend. This is Lady Anne Mahlako, Miss Anne, and we are still with Osis Penny. You know what? Before we went on the ad break, you know, Ulurat was just, maybe I think I should give it to you. You know, you said something about,
Yes,
you know,
man.
being strong coming with pain.
No,
What do
the
you mean?
weakness of being
Okay.
strong.
Yes.
Because this thing, like, ngiyamlalela.
Yeah.
Ngiyakhuluma, ngiyamlalela, ngiyamkhuluma, and no one can believe her. My guys in the stress. No.
Yes.
No one can believe
Because she's
guys.
got everything together.
No,
she's got,
lalela,
you
you
know,
have a loving husband when. Abantwana bakho abakhuluma isingisi. Eh?
We are
When
going
you have
holiday
a-
when.
You are going to holidays.
Emsebenzini wena uphethe
Yes.
abantu.
You are the
So usithelani
boss.
mawuthi stress. Thina sikhuluma abantu abane-stress and no one will listen to her.
Yes.
So that weakness of appearing or being strong, you die alone. Again,
Amapilisi we-anxiety
ufunani kwi-anxiety
Yes.
living the kind of a lifestyle that she's living.
I absolutely have to agree with you, Lerato, because it is exactly what you go through. The fact that you can afford a holiday in Miami, you've got this
Imagine,
house,
imagine.
Imagine.
Yes.
anxiety.
When we had to buy,
Yes.
we study 10 days.
Like when you are living
Yeah.
a good life.
And I must admit to say, no one ever checks up on me. Nobody checks up on Penny
Exactly.
because Penny's got it under control. I actually took it up with my sister the other day, and I said to her, it's so unfair that I have to ask how's everybody doing. Nobody checks up on me. Like on days where the anxiety levels are high, I've only got my husband to speak to about it. Because
Because you have, yes, because you have everything under control.
and,
Yes.
and also just the ability for me to address my sister. It was an uncomfortable space for
Exactly.
me. I had to come out of my comfort zone to say I also need.
You guys,
I also
yes,
need
my
you to ask me
siblings,
how I-
yes.
And it was about Tlamelo. If she doesn't check them, they got offended.
Yes.
When you don't call
because
us,
they are
when you don't-
used to
but you gonna
her
let- but you
checking
gonna
them.
don't do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the problem because they are used to her checking them. So for bone gore ba mo check, they're not used to that.
No.
But you know that thing ya gore no. I know gore my sister one phone
Exactly.
like a day can just pass. Ke se ke kry call ya my
Oh,
sister.
why?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I have a phone, it's a problem ya
And they
gore.
don't say a
Why was her phone? Like what's happening to you? Because I'm used to you calling me. Why when I can't you just pick up the phone and call me and check on
and
me?
I think just to close it off, ladies, I think we could go on for days with this
Exactly,
topic, right?
exactly.
But I really love how the fact that you are saying that there's a need for us to have this conversation. So I appreciate it, and I'm privileged to sit here and really be myself and
Yes.
authentic,
And let it
without having to pretend, you know. But what I want to say to ladies out there that are watching, that are in a corporate environment and really are looking at growing their careers, I think there's still a lack of inclusion within our corporate environments, and it's not personal. You know, I don't want you sitting there and thinking that there's something wrong with you, and that's why you have to work extra hard. It is what it is. These are the current dynamics within the corporate environment, and I think we as senior leadership, in any role that you hold out there, the change is within your hands. So when I hire and when I dilute my structure, I need to ensure that it's so diverse enough, and there's inclusion that makes women feel, especially black females, to feel that there's value that they need to add, and therefore you don't have to prove your worth at work by being in a meeting at 9 p.m. Because 9 p.m. is time for you and your husband.
family,
You've just put your kids to bed, and now it's time for you to watch whatever that you want to watch. Watch this show and relax, right? So I think really for me,
Cuddle, babe.
And the cuddling.
of course.
I want to find out really, what is your outlet? Where do you take it all out. How do you, because with me, I know, because I'm a spiritual person, prayer, I talk to that man as if we gossip, me and God, we are gossip partners. You know, we are gossip partners.
So you can't tell everything to your husband.
You know,
So there's something.
Yes.
As involved in
Yes, you need somebody to talk to.
especially as you know, with all these, because I can imagine you leading a team of people. Napa is this and that.
Yeah. So that's a valid question, and I think I've been robbing myself. So I did say so. I do a lot of boxing.
Yeah.
And I do yoga. Right? So, but there are times where I can't do it because there's a meeting, and then I sit down and think, no, man. I look at this meeting, I ask myself, am I a contributor in this meeting? Am I a decision maker?
Yeah.
What is the value? And if there's no value, I decline. I say, guys, can we have it next week? I'm not available. And I literally block out the time and go and box and punch that bag. And can I tell you, when I leave,
the boxing thing, how did the love for boxing come about? Was it a way of really, it's an outlet? Because I really cannot, because people like you tend to also have a small circle of people. That's what I've noticed about. I'll find it, I used to have 100 of friends, you know. So in boxing, did it come about because you wanted a way to release, or was it just a sport that you wanted to do?
It came about because I wanted a way to release. I had a lot of anger. Because, I had a lot of anger because I am a ambassador for diversity and inclusion. So every discriminating incident that comes towards women and young frustration. So it sits within my guts. And I am an ally of, you know, anything that falls under diversity and inclusion. I speak to it. You know, the LGBTQI community, you know, I drive that agenda so much so that it you know, so I did have, I always think that it's unfair. It's unfair. Why must we do this? And going to Virgin Active, I want to buy a shop and I buy a shop on my daughter. I wanted something that was and boxing was it for me. And that's it.
And your show, how is it going so far?
My show is doing very well. I think, you know, for a one-man show, you know, I am doing very well, but the support structure again is there. So it is on YouTube. It's called Hot Seat with Penzola. Hot seat as in I do put you on the hot seat like you did today. And then Penny is obviously, you know, the Penzola part, which basically comes from Penny from Ezola. And I put that together.
Penny, thank you so much. I enjoyed this because you know what? I like the strong Penny who came and became vulnerable.
And this broken one.
It's honestly speaking, it was so real. It was just, you know, straight to the point. Because there's somebody who's watching out there who's trying to be strong and they say, no, I can't. And who committed suicide. So guys, you know what? We really thank you. Please follow Penzola on Instagram as well as Hot Seat with Penzola.
That's correct.
Yeah, you know what? Guys, thank you so much, you know, for being part of this show. We really appreciate you for taking time from all these calls that I saw. This is Sistas Weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sistas Weekend.
Thank you.
Sistas
Weekend.